Dallas Cowboys need a wide receiver. They also need a running back, but they need a wide receiver. And there's a couple really good options in the first round. Tet McMillan, Luther Burden III,
Matthew Golden,
and
I think Ibuka.
Yeah, those are
the four. And you see them kind of shifting. A lot of people have Golden as the top guy. A lot of people have Tet McMillan as the top guy. Some people have Luther Burden sliding in there. I haven't really seen Ibuka be, the first wide receiver taken off the board, but I would say those are the cream of the crop wide receivers in this draft.
Yeah, he would be on the lower list of that kind of first tier, if you will. But there was this new interview that came out, and some people say that Tet McMillan may drop in the draft now because he had an answer to a question that, well, this article says is a disastrous answer about his love of football. I'm just going to scroll down. Let's just watch it.
You know what? You don't watch football? At all?
At all.
Is it hard to watch film then if you don't like watching football?
Yeah.
For real? That's crazy.
I don't like watching film either. I don't ever need to watch it by myself because we go over as a receiver group.
He doesn't watch football, and they said, well, is it hard to watch film if you don't watch football? And he goes, I don't watch film either.
Yeah.
Unless it's with my positional group. So I posted this on Instagram, or I've reshared someone that had posted it, and a few people messaged me going, well, hey, Bryson Carver being one of them from the Carver It Up podcast, saying, hey, that interview was taken when he was 19 years old. So it's out and about like this just happened March 28th, and it's getting kind of brought to everybody's attention a month before the draft. But this was said by a 19-year-old kid in maybe his first or second year in college football. So there's a little bit of context to that, because if I see a guy saying this a month before the draft, I'm thinking, one, you're an idiot for saying that.
Yeah.
Two, your agent's probably fucking shitting himself thinking, dude, shut the hell up. But three, the time frame matters quite a bit. Like knowing 100%. A 19-year-old said it compared to March 28th, I think gives me a little bit less of a red flag.
He is 22 years old, so it's 3 years ago.
Yeah. So does that
3 years ago, it was 2022. He had 39 receptions and 702 yards. He wasn't really even a big dude in the school. The following year in 2023, he had 90 receptions, 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns. So that's when he kind of came into his own. So I would be more concerned if he was getting receptions and yards when he was 19 at 2022, because he might have just also been pissed off with not getting the ball enough.
Yeah.
This interview here
is a weird one.
Is
he out at a Is he at like the cafeteria?
He looks like he's at the cafeteria of the school.
Eating lunch or something?
And he's doing an interview with a guy who is like, I don't know, it's a laptop facing him or something like that. Like, obviously, stupid remark if you were to be able to project this to when you're going to graduate in 3 years from this point for him. I wouldn't be too concerned, but like you said, it's a stupid thing to say, and it would be even worse if it was like him saying it now, a month before the draft.
Only person I can remember telling people that he doesn't watch film is Jamarcus Russell. Like, you're an NFL player, and I know I threw this into the DMs and asked you guys, is this a red flag? And I'll ask you guys now on air, we're going to say this was him saying this on March 28th, because when we were talking about it, we thought that at first.
Yeah.
So I asked you guys if you thought it was a red flag, a top draft prospect coming out saying he doesn't watch football and he doesn't watch film.
I think that's a red flag. I think that's a major red flag, because it just shows like you are very skilled, and that's what's been making you a great player. Does he have coaches, and that's why he's like, I'm getting nothing from these tape classes? I think that's hard to believe in pretty much almost any college team. Like, they wouldn't be able to show you what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing by watching tape. But yeah, like, it's because when you get to the NFL, you're in that 0.1% of football players. You do need to know what the is going on, right? I think Manziel had also a great story with him not watching football. And
totally. He's another guy that came out after he was out of the league, though.
After he was out of the league,
he said it. But at least he wasn't dumb enough to say it
right
before he was drafted.
Yeah, like, he was talking about how he didn't watch film. He just was so good athletically in college that he didn't need to.
Yeah,
and then when you get to the NFL,
more concerning, I think, for if a quarterback comes out and says they don't watch film, like when if Manziel said that he didn't watch film, that probably would have really hurt his draft stock, I think. But he's just that type of talent, at least going into college.
Yeah,
He was.
I also think for a wide receiver, I don't care as much as a quarterback, just because wide receiver, you're going to be running certain routes that are short, medium, long. And maybe he feels like, man, I know how to run these routes. So I'd be like, okay, but when you get to the NFL team, you're watching fucking tape.
well, you're trying to find an ad. I'll get to you here quickly, but in the NFL, for me, like you should be watching the guy you're going to go up against and try to find tendencies. You're not finding that if you're not watching tape.
Exactly.
So, Ad, what did you think?
Well, my answer is sponsored by Swag Official 13 with the $4.99 super chat.
Yeah, baby.
I said he didn't say he doesn't watch who he's prepping for. Like, he'll watch it with his wide receiving core group. So he'll watch film with the team. He just won't watch it on his own. So I said, it's still a flag, obviously, but I said, okay, it's less bothersome for me if you have a very talented wide receiver who's still chalking it up on the field. He's still analyzing his upcoming opponent. He's just not going to be watching and analyzing game on his own, which he should. Again, more concerning as a quarterback. I think if we were to pick Tet McMillan, wouldn't be as much as a flag for me, primarily because then I know he's not going to be going out there podcasting about football
Because he doesn't care about it.
because he doesn't care about football.
I think, look, the easiest way I think to answer this is you get a Marvel or Cowboys fan multiverse. In one multiverse, Tet McMillan watches tape, likes to watch tape. In the other universe, Tet McMillan doesn't like to watch tape. Which one are you picking?
The one that likes it.
There you go.
Well, and another, you could put it into the real world. You think of anyone that has any type of profession.
Yeah.
I hope that the person that I'm hiring for anything does a little bit of study or growth outside of when he's getting paid for it. To put it in perspective, anything you guys do, right, with your guys'
Of course.
jobs,
Yes.
outside of paid hours, you guys have studied what you do for a living.
And I also, as much as I would love to just not work, but I do like what I do. It's interesting for me. I like to accomplish things. I like to feel like, okay, I'm being successful. And I had the same thing when I was painting. Like, I like to finish a job. I like to make it look really good. Obviously didn't want to stay in that career, but
Are you studying like different cut-in techniques though? Off
no.
field?
But it's just about liking it.
Yeah,
Like,
sorry,
actually, I'm not gonna lie. There were,
Of course you
you
are.
would go to YouTube and
I was
be
going
like,
to say, how
the
many
fuck
times
do I
did you
cut
guys
this?
watch on any type of job you've ever had? How many times have you guys looked at YouTube or
yeah.
or thought about it outside or did any kind of, you watch the interview with him, even just him in the interview, his mannerisms in the interview. Granted, he's 19 there, just seems disinterested.
Yeah.
He's fucking eating while these guys are trying to talk to him. You know what I mean? It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but
So you're off of Tet then?
no,
But what-
he's 19. Like,
What if, and
he's
we,
19 years old there.
I'd love for him to get a chance to respond, but what if it was like he was sitting down and they're like, oh, by the way, you signed up for this interview with this guy a month ago, and he's like, okay. Like, he could have just been in a sour, shitty mood and not wanting to answer the guy's questions, and then that made all of his answers negative. Like,
Right.
so I need a little bit more context with that.
For all
you
we
know?
know,
And
it
I'd
could
like
have
a
been the
rebuttal to the video.
For all we know, it could have been someone from the school paper who just was bothering him while he was eating, and he's like, "Can I just get a couple of words?"
Exactly.
And he set the phone up there, and maybe he didn't know he was actually filming, and he just thought he was just getting it for the paper.
What if he had his dick out and he was just flopping it around while he's asking questions?
That could also be it.
Does it give any backstory to it on this page? Like, I know we kind of talked about what you have on the screen right now.
Not in this page. I do want to hit this paragraph up too, but not in this page. But I have heard that other people saying the same thing. Like, that's the clip that's going around. So maybe the full interview is available now. But when I was looking earlier today, other people were kind of, and that brought my mind to it too. Before I even watched, where they were saying like, I just need some context, like what's happening. The interview is just it's not like he's sitting in a studio.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's weird.
so
Sorry, Ed.
I was going to say, R2J2 kind of sums up what I was trying to say. He goes, not watching the NFL is far different than not spending time in the film room. So he still spends time in the film room. He just doesn't watch the game. And that's kind of what Alex is pointing here. It's like, which is so bizarre. You dedicate so much time. And it's like, oh, I guess I'm going to do it. I'll do it for 10 years. I'll make a bunch of millions of dollars and that's it. But it's like, I'm not going to bend over I'm not going to stress myself out because I know I'm that good. Like, it's just such a weird.
Wouldn't you want to be the best of the best? Yeah,
you would think so.
You would, but you could, like, if I'm looking to, because we're looking at it in the negative light, but if you look at it in the positive light, it might be like, yeah, I don't watch NFL because I'm focused on college. Why does it matter? Like, obviously he knows about the NFL. He definitely probably watches some games here or there, right? But if he's like, if his mindset is like, no, I'm focused on myself and my career, and watching other guys is great, but doesn't help me get better.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a weird time for it to get released right before the draft. It's almost like a smear campaign. And the account that let it go was Matthew Golden.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. How about this though?
Could you imagine if another like the second ranked or the second top wide receiver was trying to do a smear campaign? It's weird timing though. It does feel a little smearish.
Well, what if it was released by Brandon McMillan, YouTube.ca, and like we were talking earlier, what if he's like, I don't want to go to any of these top 6 teams. I want to drop down to like out of the top 10.
Get to 12 to the Cowboys?
To get to like just a team that's got a better chance of winning, and he self-sacrificed himself. I mean,
he did it.
But I think
it's a lot of money.
I think he was just a young 19-year-old kid that was eating, got asked a question, and just maybe it was a little bit too. At 19, he's not thinking 3 years down the road that this interview that he's doing with the fucking school media is going to come back and bite him in the ass a little bit, because it blew up a little bit. A lot of people were posting it, and it could have ramifications to where he gets drafted.
If you're kind of in a 50-50 scenario with guys, this is going to drop him down to 49-51 for the other guy. But this paragraph kind of sums up a little bit the negative side here. Like like if you're looking at this and trying to frame it in the most negative way, not being in love with the game of football is not inherently a deal breaker in a prospect. Hall of Fame running back Curtis Martin famously did not enjoy the sport, but that didn't prevent him from having a legendary career. However, not watching film on your own should be a massive red flag for his professional aspirations. So, like, there are obviously dudes who have said the same thing. I always wonder when they say this, too. It's like, is that a bit of an ego thing? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't watch football, man. I don't need to. That's the incentive.
Watch football. I'm too good. How can you tell what Alex does for a job with that programmatic ad that was there? Your CMO's favorite podcast. Marketing guy. They fucking got you, kid. They got you.
This is the little blurb that they wrote about his disastrous interview, Tet McMillan's disastrous interview.
And again, maybe these guys don't know that this was 3 years ago either, because maybe they hit this article as fast as they could, because you don't see it anywhere.
Well, that's the kind of schmear aspect of it, is like, you should have said in 2022, Tet said this, but no, that way it was just the video
ahead of the draft.
Yeah, a 27-second clip. It's smeary. So the Dallas Cowboys have a great wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb, but not much else. Quarterback Dak Prescott is at his best when he has 2 reliable wide receivers. Duh. And he hasn't had that since Amari Cooper joined the Cleveland Browns. With Lamb and Tet McMillan, the 2025 NFL draft could give Prescott the offensive firepower needed to compete in a loaded NFC East.
I go back to, I think the first overall pick, that 12 for the Cowboys, needs to be a wide receiver. Like, I'm so set on that. I'm not so set on the talent of wide receiver later in the draft.
Yeah.
I think you got to get one of these dudes, one of these 4 guys. Hopefully Tet falls, because he's that nice big-bodied receiver. But if he gets picked up, I still wouldn't mind taking one of the other guys, because they make it a good point. Dak Prescott is at his best when he has a couple of viable options. And let CD cook, man. If CD can't be getting double-teamed across the middle, think what he could be doing. So...
Well, and CD does. He's been on record saying that he does love to be double teamed across the middle.